Every town has a pub, but every now and then a pub becomes something a bit more than that. A proper home for live music, local artists, and a community that keeps growing. In this episode of Momentwm, the making of a business, we'll hear from Mike Hilton, the founder of Cwrw in Carmarthen. Cwrw started as a live music venue and has grown into a full creative hub. Live gigs, a community recording studio, and a rehearsal space, all under one roof. It's a brilliant story, and I can't wait to hear more about it. Mike, welcome, and thank you for having us. Now, for anyone who hasn't been through the doors of Cwrw yet, just set the scene. What is Cwrw, and what goes on here?
Hello there. Cwrw is not just another pub in town. We are a music venue, we are a recording rehearsal studio, and a creative hub. For people who come in, you can expect a large range of beers, live music, and a great community. Sounds
fantastic. Have you always been in the creative or music space?
No, actually. I used to be a teacher in my past. I got out of education, moved to Wales, and basically followed me passion, which has always been creative, but it's never been a part of my job role. So when the opportunity came, I grabbed it with both hands.
Go on and tell us a little bit about the accent. Where are you from, and how did you end up in Carmarthen?
Right, I'm originally from Liverpool. Moved out to Liverpool 25 years ago. I was an ex-teacher, basically moved to the Middle East with my wife. Then we were expecting a child, and then we moved back to Carmarthen, where my wife is from. And then, that's why I'm here.
Was it always your aspiration to start a business?
Absolutely not.
Really?
No.
Okay, that's really interesting. Was there a moment that made you think, right, I'm going to do this, I am going to open this place?
I think it was when I did come back into the UK. I fell out of love with education, and I was sitting down. I remember it in the kitchen with my father-in-law, and I was thinking, what's my next step? What do I do? And then when Tangled Parrot, the Parrot Music Bar, it was then in 2019, closed, I come in and I was like, you know what? I'm going to follow my creative outlet of what I really like to do, and take over the venue as a creative project. And then that was it. I mean, there was no plan. It was right time, right place, and the absolute, just like, forget everything. I'm going to risk it. I'm going to go for what I want to do. I don't want to work a 9 to 5 anymore. I want to follow my passion, basically.
Was that a bold move for you then?
Absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely. Huge
and how
risk.
did you feel at that time? You mentioned there, having discussions at home and things like that. But how did you feel? What was going through your mind?
That was such a weird phase in my life. It was kind of, I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But at the back of my mind, I always knew what I wanted to do, if that makes sense.
It does make sense.
I wanted to be creative, but I didn't have the opportunity until that specific time. So it was a lot of a mixed emotion, of a lot of worry about, can we afford this? How hard am I going to have to work to achieve my goals? But I think looking back, it was just kind of like, you know what, you don't live once, let's do it. If it fails, then we'll learn something.
Yeah. And you mentioned there that you didn't really have a plan.
No.
And obviously you're taught in business to develop a business plan and to think ahead. Did you put your mind to it then? And did you start developing a plan in terms of, what Cwrw could look like?
No.
No?
No.
Tell us a little bit about your thought process then, and how you went about those early days.
You know what? My thought process was to shut everything out, like all the outside world.
Wow.
And do what I was passionate about.
I see.
And then naturally, the harder I worked and the more I wanted to create something, things started to develop around me, a community, things started to come in line with my creative process.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, a natural plan of, here's a business plan, I need this funding and that. I was just like, you know what? I haven't got a job. Yeah. I'm just going to do what I want, and hopefully it'll make some money and I can survive off it.
That's really interesting, because it seems to me that you're building the business, in the early days at least, around your interests and experiences, as opposed to thinking about what people want, what potential customers might want moving forward. And that was the case. Yeah,
exactly the case. It was kind of an aspect of like, build it and they will come.
Yeah.
And it was completely a selfish outlet of me thinking, I don't want to work for anybody. I want to do something creative for me. And it's just very lucky that, along the way, it's caught on and people want to join like the vision I had and build a community of what I wanted to do, essentially.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And then what about the process of finding this location? Was that easy? Did the opportunity present itself? Or?
Yeah, again, it's just right place, right time. So I remember going to the Tangle Parrot when the bar had closed, and I was talking to Matt upstairs. And then at the time I didn't have a job, and I was just kind of like, so you've closed, and it was a music venue before that. And I was like, all right, okay. I was just like, maybe this is the perfect opportunity to take it, and that could be my creative outlet.
I see.
So yeah, I kind of went, I'll take it, tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
Realizing actually I've got no money or whatever, but we agreed some terms and things like that, and then it took 3 months of me just staying here overnight and chipping away and building it and just making it up as I went along, like the decor and it's such a strange time when you think about it.
It's an amazing story, really, isn't it? But looking back at those early days, then what skills or experiences did you bring to the table in setting this business up? It might be difficult for you to reflect on.
Well, I think in teaching there's a lot of transferable skills.
Yeah.
But the learning curve is like the more practical side of it. Setting this up, basically, you have to be like a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
You need to be able to fix a sink or like build a wall or knock down a wall. Do electronic stuff. It's kind of, I thank YouTube for that. So like I brought the transferable skills from teaching. That was more to do with like engagement with the public and like public rapport and things like that. But on the way, the journey is you kind of need to learn everything, from practical to financial with the accountants and how to run a business, basically, and everything that comes with that. That was a huge learning curve, and I'm still learning today.
That's good.
I still get things wrong, and
I'd imagine it's a huge challenge, isn't it? But I'd imagine that running a pub is hard enough on its own as well, but adding live events on top of that, what were the challenges that hit you hardest during those early days?
I think it was just, as you said, I was just on my own. I didn't have a business partner. It was long days. I was working like averaging 9 hours a week. So I'll be behind the bar for 10 hours a day or 12 hours a day, and then I'll be doing tickets on the door, and then I'll be doing live sound, which I had to learn from scratch. So, and then the social media, and then the accounts. So it's kind of like having 5 full-time jobs in one. In one role, basically.
It's all encompassing, isn't it?
It takes over. It takes over. So I think when I was less proud of me, the baby that I built, I started to realize, okay, I need help. I need somebody to have the same vision and the same passion, and come in and help me create something which I can't achieve on my own.
Yeah.
So that brings people like Andrew. So he runs Slush. So he's a promoter in Wales. So he helps a lot with our gigs. So he started here through an Adwaith gig, and we had a conversation, and I was saying, well, he said to me, I'd love to put on a gig. And I was like, well, go on then. And then the next minute, 2 years later, he's probably one of the best promoters in Wales.
Yeah.
And he's putting some great bands, great shows. So it just shows like, you know, don't be scared to let people in, the right people.
And at what point in the business did you bring others in to support the growth of the business then?
It was late on, actually. It was late on. I realised when, I think it was about probably 4 years into the business. Then I realised, you know, it's not healthy to do everything on your own. You know, it takes its toll on your health.
Sorry to get across. What triggered that? I mean, did you see an opportunity to grow? Was there a kind of a period of stagnation? What triggered the need to bring others in to support you on that journey?
As I said, I think I could only achieve so much on your own.
Yeah. Until
you need help. And also, you know, the idea was it's going to be a community project and an inclusive project. And I realised that I was being a hypocrite because I was gatekeeping everything to myself.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, okay, so one, you know, it's not great for the health to work 90 hours a week with the family and, you know, learning everything. And two, I'm a bit of a hypocrite because I'm not letting anyone in.
Yeah.
Because I was such in control of like what I'd built and it was my baby sort of thing. So yeah, then I opened the doors and then things changed then. You know, a bigger audience, a bigger community started to develop, and I was like, okay, that's key.
So you could see the difference immediately then.
Absolutely, and it just gave me more energy to focus on business. Aspects of the business which I was neglecting as well.
Yeah.
And also one thing I did realize is like these people out there who can do a better job than you in some aspects, and I was just kind of like, okay, I think that's a bit of ego. Like, obviously, your skills are way, way, way more matched to this aspect of the business than what I am. Yeah, so that was a big learning curve, actually.
It's probably natural that you've learned about yourself, whilst starting and developing the business, isn't it?
Yeah.
What you do well and how you could obviously lean on others in order to further develop the business, I suppose. We talk about the business there. You mentioned Adwaith. You've had some cool bands here. Tell us a little bit about, what you do here. What's a typical day like?
Typical day is I get in. I usually fix something.
Yeah.
I have a sink or urinal or, that's what people don't see. Then I'll do the cashing up, the stock takes, all the stuff that people don't see.
Yeah.
When the bar's open. The running of the business, basically. And then, it's usually open the bar, time for drinks. And throughout the day, you've never got one job. You're always multitasking. So you're either on social media or you're making a poster for a band while serving a drink. It's all kind of, these not one typical job role as you come in. As a 9 to 5, is sit at a desk and that's your job for the day. Yeah,
but in terms of entertainment, then you've obviously got live music. Yeah, recording as well is another aspect of the business.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Not yet.
Fantastic.
No, recording, rehearsal, live performance, and a lot of like community events and inclusive groups and stuff like that use the space, like the poetry, etc.
Brilliant. I understand that you've had some support from Llŷr Roberts, and obviously the aim of Llŷr Roberts is to encourage people to stay in Carmarthenshire, Anglesey as well, Gwynedd and Cerddoriaeth, and also to attract young people back to the area. What has that support meant for you and the venue? What was it exactly? And
that's brilliant, actually. So Llŷr Roberts was from Pembroke Dock, but he was living in London, and that funding basically brought him back to Wales so we could do live sound for the venue. But also off the back of that, he is now our producer for the studio. So, that money was an incentive to come back to Wales, but now he's actually here. He's contributing to the creative economy. And it's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, and obviously you're gaining from the experiences.
Absolutely. Yeah. But he's also brought experience back from London to Wales as well, which the skills that he's learned there, I think, is quite essential to to bring back to Wales. Because you don't necessarily learn it here because there's not the infrastructure. You need to go to like a city where, you know, the infrastructure in a creative industry is already in place. Yeah. And then bring it back to South Wales, a small town, basically.
And as someone who's from Liverpool, the city of culture at one point, do you feel that's important? You know, that you take something like the creative industries, for example, and give it some attention in other parts of Wales and the UK. So, you know, for example, in Carmarthen, you're in the rural part of Wales, I suppose. Yeah. Is it important that, you know, these types of projects or support initiatives encourage young people to get involved with the creative sector, for example?
Yeah, I do. I do indeed. Off the back of Brechdan, we also had Brechdan Jam. Yeah, okay. Which led into workshops then for young people to learn like synth and songwriting and stuff like that. So that education leads into maybe work experience, which we do offer work experience and training, but also it's a way in, it's a pipeline into the industry. If you learn them skills now, then you know it's making the future for the creative industry have a better chance of getting young people in. Yeah.
And what did Brechdan Jam lead to? What was the support? Did you have workshops here with young people?
Yes.
And what did they cover as part of those workshops?
So we had 2 synth workshops. So it was how to find your way around a synth and, you know, what plugins to use. And the second part of that was songwriting, basically. Yeah. So young people were taught how to construct a song, how it works, and, you know, what lyrics go with what. And yeah, it was quite interesting, actually.
That's really interesting. And have they become artists here? Some of them appeared in Cwrw? Oh, that's interesting. That's an interesting story, isn't it? That's brilliant.
So there's a band called Cwrw. Yeah. And then Penny. They regularly play here now.
Oh, that's amazing. But come full circle almost. So,
full circle, and it's natural as well. It's good to see that, you know, the young people are actually taking that on board. Yeah. Forming a band, and you know, we're just privileged that we're doing what I set out to do, is to use Cwrw as a platform for young people to learn and get into an industry, a creative industry, which they love. And so hopefully they love it.
I'm sure they do. It's so much more than a pub, though. It's a creative hub, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Amazing. I think that reinforces, you know, the live space, the recording studio, the vinyl shop. So it's kind of like a full circle of the creative process. Yeah. And that was my 10-year target. We're on year 6. I think we're going into year 7 now.
So you did have a plan.
So it was at the back of the head, what I wanted, but yeah, getting there was a different story.
Oh, well done. Fantastic. Right, we're going to take a quick break from the big questions.
Okay.
And I'm just going to ask you a set of quick fire questions. Something we do with every guest on the pod. So, no thinking. Just the first thing that comes into your head. Okay, ready?
No.
Where do you see the business in 5 years?
Development and training of young people through education.
Wow, I like that.
And also taking Welsh language bands international. Ooh. I know, a bit ambitious, but you know, it can happen.
Yeah, amazing vision. What's your favourite thing about running a business in Wales?
You know what? You're always 20 minutes, half an hour away from the beach.
Ah, okay.
And it's brilliant to escape.
Yeah, it's the way of life then, isn't it?
Absolutely the way of life.
Yeah, okay, great. Yeah. Name one business in Wales you think is doing good things at the moment.
I think Bunkhouse in Swansea, another music venue. I think their ideas and their initiative of what they're doing for the community, like Lovely Town and things like that, are really inspiring actually to make you want to do more for the community. So I really respect that, yeah.
Okay, great. And if you weren't running this business, what would you be doing?
Probably Tesco night shift. I actually don't know.
Teaching?
Absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely not. I really don't know.
Are you
I don't know.
a singer? Do you play any instruments?
I am. Yes, but
That's a
not.
yes, isn't it?
But not for anybody.
Yeah.
It's kind of like doing music for me is kind of like my diary.
Yeah.
So it's quite like private.
If you qualify, you need to get involved with Brechdan Jam, I think.
Uh,
And if someone out there listening is struggling to run their own business, what's the one piece of advice you'd give them?
Failure is a good thing because you'll know what not to do next. Like, that's the massive lesson I've learned, that don't be scared to fail. In fact, it's a positive thing.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. We are back to the big questions, and we're going to move on to the successes and lessons, and obviously we've touched on some of these already.
Yep.
Definitely feels like there's a big buzz here at the moment. You've got a fantastic venue for music and events, recording and rehearsal studio, wide range of different beers to try. There's a huge mural outside on the wall that showcases the local talent as well. How do you focus on maintaining that buzz, and what motivates you to keep going with the business?
I think, again, that's more of a collaborative approach. So with Kuru and Slush, Slush focusing on bringing the artists to the venue, and the venue providing that space. And I think it's the momentum of working together and finding people who have a similar goal.
Yeah.
Creates that buzz and that momentum to go forward.
Yeah, okay.
And really good bands, that helps.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure. And you've talked about the challenges already, of course, but what would you say is the hardest part of the job that people on the outside would never guess?
I suppose it's the same as every business owner, really. It's just juggling the time and organising your time, because you've got so many things to do in a day, but you're limited to hours.
Yeah.
That and juggling with family life is very difficult. It's a different type of emotional, part of the job that no one sees, the balance between family and, putting a roof over your head type of thing, but also trying to create something. It's just that the balance is hard. Yeah, and I think it's always changing, and you never really find the balance. It's always, it's always fluid. You're always riding a wave of that.
And whilst you've obviously leaned on others to support in different ways, I suppose it's a challenge for any business, isn't it, to kind of let go and delegate?
Absolutely.
When there's no one to delegate to, I suppose.
Yeah. The hardest thing is creating something of your own and being proud of that, and then letting that go. I think that's a really, really hard. Yeah, that's really hard to do. Okay.
Has there been a specific gig, artist, or moment inside these walls where you've thought, this is exactly why I opened this space?
You know what? There's been lots. But I did have an emotional moment with an emotive connection when Savannah played.
Okay.
But it was just phenomenal. It took me to another place. I wasn't in Kuru anymore. And then that's exactly what I wanted to achieve. Just kind of, a crowd to be transported to somewhere else.
Yeah. What led to that feeling then? Was it, the talent of the artist? Was it the crowd that you had here?
It was everything. It was one of them moments, one of them rare moments when, you step outside of the job, and then you can look around and just see what your vision was in your head, and think, you know what, this is why I'm doing this.
Yeah, really, really interesting.
And then the next minute someone breaks a glass and you're back into work.
Difficult to have that.
Yeah, it's nice to step outside and see people enjoying it, and kind of like, just look holistically of what you've achieved over the years, rather than being stuck in the middle of it. That's quite nice. That moment. Yeah, it's rare, but it happens sometimes.
That's great. Cwrw describes itself as an inclusive, creative hub. So how important is that community focus to you personally? And how do you make sure it stays at the heart of what you do?
Yeah, I mean, Cwrw is essentially a community-led venue. We regularly have, poems and pints, different types of arts. We have LGBTQ socials. We have hockey teams. It's open to everybody who wants to use the space and wants to be a part of a community which is creative.
Yeah.
And not solely focused on, sitting around the bar having a drink, but more the aspect of like a collective of creatives who can share ideas and, hopefully develop things. That's the key is, I want to be a meeting place for creatives to have an outlet. And if something creative comes out of that, then that's the sweet spot.
Yeah, okay. The feeling of being part of something is important.
Yeah, being a part of something, but also expanding that into something more outside of Cwrw.
And it seems to be giving opportunities as well. You're talking about young talent there.
Yeah.
Obviously, literally giving them the stage to express and show their talent.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, great.
That's absolutely important.
Brilliant. What's next for Cwrw then? What does the next chapter look like?
Next chapter for Cwrw, we're going to expand the studio a little bit.
Okay.
And again, as I said earlier, what my 10-year target is pretty much nearly being completed. So I'm going to start looking at possibly next year of that training and development for young people. Hence, the international bit, I'm not quite sure that is very far off, but I think the immediate plans are the education and training for young people. Brilliant. But it's all, funding dependent. We can't afford to host that with our wet sales. So we're going to have to rely heavily on funding.
Yeah.
And applying for that funding is difficult, very, very difficult. There's a lot of good projects out there who want to engage the community similar to us. And we've just got to find how we're going to stand out and how we're going to benefit, the majority or more people for the industry. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, great. And before we finish this pod, I have to ask, if you were to host your dream gig here at Cwrw, an unlimited budget, what 3 bands would you choose? Who'd start your set and who'd be the headliner?
Wowzers. Okay. 3 bands, unlimited budget. Dead or alive? Well, they have to be alive, don't they? I imagine.
It's up to you. You can be completely creative here.
Okay. I'd love to get Griff Reese here on an acoustic solo.
Wow.
So I think he would open.
Yeah.
So it just means the other 2 must be good, right?
Yeah.
I would absolutely love to get Squid here at some point. I love that band. And completely impossible, unlimited budget headlining would be Radiohead.
Oh, wow.
That would be class.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It won't happen.
A great gig. Maybe that
Phil Segway, you're listening.
Maybe that ties into the international plan, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? Getting, if I was thinking about my bands, I'd probably go something similar with Super Furries.
Yeah.
Gorkies.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just so that we get the...
Gorkies would be a great one.
Yeah. Just so the Americans can see what you do here, I'd go with something like Nirvana.
All right, okay, bring them back. It's funny you should say that. The Gorky, I went to Japan. It was on a UK music delegation.
Yeah.
Last August, and the Gorkies are massive in Japan.
Ah, they're huge.
Yeah, I was like, oh wow, okay. I was buying all the CDs, and I was just like, wow.
Massive.
Yeah,
my story
great.
as well. Eidos Childs from Pembrokeshire.
Yeah.
In school in Carmarthen, I think. So that would be a lovely.
He was in the other week.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Mike, thank you so much for your time. It's been great chatting to you and learning more about this industry. If you're in the Carmarthen area, make sure to pop in and visit Cwrw if you haven't already. And if you've enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe on your favourite platform. We'll see you next time.